Hi, everyone. Welcome to Firmly Planted Wellness Live. I'm so excited to have you joining us today because we have a powerhouse who's going to be sharing with us today, Dr. Corine Ferebee, and I'm going to introduce her to you in just a minute. But if this is the first time that we are meeting, then my name is Lissa Figgins, and it's my intention on this live interview series to bring to you an amazing woman who is in some way helping women to live well. It could be in her physical health and wellness. It could be in her life, her relationships, her business, her mindset, all the different things that make us who we are. And so I wanted to welcome you, Corine. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Yes, well, I'm glad to have you here. And I couldn't have picked a better title because what you said for your title, prioritizing you through health and wellness, is exactly my mission. So my mission is to help women who are oftentimes, I find, overwhelmed, frustrated, exhausted, trying to do all the things to help them prioritize their wellness, right? And to make it simple so they can finally turn what they know to do into actually doing and stop putting themselves in the back burner. So let me just let our audience know a little bit more about you and your background, because I think it's pretty impressive and I love your story. So Corine is a pharmacist, an entrepreneur, a consultant, a personal trainer, and a health advocate. So she does a lot of things, right? I love the fact that you were in a role where you had a lot of leadership opportunities. You were helping people with their medications as a pharmacist. But I remember when you first shared your story with me, you got tired of just handing medications over a counter to someone when really the solution was in their lifestyle. And so I think it's pretty exciting that you walked away from kind of more of a quote unquote corporate job to become an entrepreneur because that passion was so deep in your heart to really help and serve others. And I'm excited to get to share you with my audience today and for you to get to talk about what you're doing and how you're growing and what you're offering right now. So tell me a little bit, how do you serve women and what inspired that?
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned it just a second ago. Like, I was a pharmacist for 14 years. And so my main job was to make sure that you had your medicine, you had the right medicine, you knew how to take it, and you knew how to deal with any type of interactions or side effects that may come along with that. But what I saw is that I would have the same patients from year 1 to year 10 to year 14, the same patients with the same chronic illnesses, And so what I said to myself is, why are they still suffering with high blood pressure? Why are they still suffering with diabetes? And what I realized is that there was an important link that was missing, and that was lifestyle management. And so I just wanted to be, more of a resource to patients. Not only tell them, okay, these are the things you should be doing. There should be more exercise. There should be better nutrition. There should be self-care. But I wanted to also be a resource, So not only this is what you need to do, but I wanted to say this is how you can do it and this is where you can do it.
Right. It's one thing to tell somebody this is what you should do, and then they go home and they have no idea where to start.
Exactly.
Or they think it has to be this super complicated. I just read this morning, you don't have to have a plan, you don't have to have a program, you don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to do what's best for you in this moment right now, right?
Yeah,
and then make a body loving choice and make another one, right? Yes.
Absolutely. And when you said that, it makes me think of when you go to the doctor and they give you all of this paperwork, that you go home with. And, how many of them actually read it? And then if they do read it, how many of them actually implement it? So that's kind of what I do. I kind of stand in the gap for women, and I help them to prioritize their health. Because what I find is that women, especially, we spend so much time taking care of everybody else,
Exactly.
We take care of the job, the kids, the husband, the house. We take care of it all. And many times do it well. But then there's no time and energy left for ourselves.
Right.
So
you can only go so long, right? Doing that.
Absolutely.
It may look like you've got all the balls, up in the air and you're doing great, but someday they're going to start crashing and then you're not going to be good to anybody, right?
Oh, exactly. That's it, and it's like at some point you're going to have a burnout, So, my job is to step in and kind of educate and encourage people, especially women, to take time for themselves, make themselves a priority, because that's what's really going to take you over the top and really be able to help you to be able to do all of those things that you want to do, you know?
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
yeah. So I love women. It's so many layers to us,
Mhm.
and it's so many things that, we resonate with each other, so just the family life, the struggle with the career, and just our health. And I just want women to take health seriously,
Yes.
and take care of themselves.
Yes. And it's about longevity, right? It's about being able to
Yeah,
do those things that are most important to us and be with the people who are most important to us for as long as we can, so we can give
absolutely.
our best in those different areas. Do you find that women sometimes think that the self-care, this taking care of themselves, prioritizing themselves is selfish?
Absolutely. I think all the time we kind
Mhm.
of think like that. I mean, I think we've just kind of been programmed to think like that because we feel like we don't have the time. So
Mhm.
then when you take that time and you just focus on you, and you have
Right?
to tell the kids and the husband and the job, like, I need this time, then it does look selfish, but you have to know that it's not, and that it's going to help you be a better you at the end of the,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
And so a lot of times for my clients in particular, I tell them schedule, schedule, schedule.
Mhm.
Like, you
Mhm.
have to decide that your health and your wellness is just as important as everything else in your life, and
That is
so
so true.
we schedule
I was
time
just having a
for work.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
we schedule
We
time
make
for work.
appointments for everybody else, right?
Yeah,
We'll show up for them, but then when it comes to us, we don't show up for ourselves. Yeah.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
how do we take this great idea? Okay, you've convinced me. I know you're preaching to the choir with me, but hopefully our listeners are going, okay, maybe this is something I need to slow down and think about. What are some practical tips? What are some ways to actually start doing this? Because let's be honest, life is busy, and right now we're kind of in a season where it's a different kind of busy. It's just kind of this crazy unknown. So yes, we are at home more, but it doesn't seem like we're just, sitting around twiddling our thumbs.
Right. I
So,
think people thought that, okay, I'm going to work from home and I'm going to have so much
vacation.
extra time. And it's just not that way. I actually feel like I'm busier, and so that really reminded me of the importance of scheduling, so with my calendar, it looks crazy when someone else looks at it. It's because I schedule everything, so not only am I scheduling work and, appointments for the kids and, things of that nature, but I'm also scheduling time for myself. So I'm
Good.
scheduling my workouts. I'm scheduling, what we're eating from day to day, and meal prepping and self-care, so my family knows on Sundays it's my time.
Okay.
They know, don't bother mommy because she's having her self-care moment at this time. So yeah,
Yeah.
you have to schedule.
Yeah.
So
And they probably have seen they're going to get a better mom, right? After that time, because
absolutely,
you're going to be refreshed and filled up and ready to go.
absolutely. So I use that time to decompress from the week before, but
Mhm.
also to, get in the right mindset for the next week. So yeah, it absolutely makes a difference, and you can tell if it doesn't happen. So yeah.
Exactly. And I find too, I have to be mindful of just taking those little breaks. Somebody, I can't, oh, I know, I heard it on a podcast. He called it health snacks. So he said it just maybe 5 minutes, like, so maybe your self care on Sunday looks like an hour, or, I don't know what it looks
Right.
like for you, but, so we can't always do that every day of the week, but we can take 5 minutes to, do some stretching. We can take 5 minutes to just do some deep breathing. We can take 5 minutes to go walk outside or to play with the dogs or kids, or, and
Yeah.
just those little things will help us to be more productive,
I love
and
that. I love that. I'm definitely gonna have to incorporate that, because what I
right?
find is that I'll get at that desk and you'll just go work and work and work, and you'll say, okay, I'm gonna take a break in a second, and then you don't.
Right.
So yeah, I love that. That
I
5 minutes.
actually set a timer. And so what I've read is we should go about 25 minutes and take a 5 minute break.
Yeah.
If you have to go 50 minutes and take a 10-minute break, but that break needs to involve not, oh, I'm stopping this to now check my Facebook, but like literally get up out of the chair, move our body, get to a different
Yeah.
setting, do something so that way it engages the brain, and the body as well. So I love that. So good. Are there any other tips that you want to share, that women should be thinking about when it comes to prioritizing their wellness?
Yeah, I mean, not only just the self-care, but just the day-to-day. And these are things that the entire family can do. So when we
Right.
talk about fitness and working out, so I think a lot of times women get overwhelmed because it's like, oh my God, I got to go to the gym, or, I have to do this full class, when really you don't. You can take a walk with the family, do something enjoyable, but make sure you're moving throughout the day. I think we get, especially now with the pandemic and people, sitting at their desks for hours and hours on Zoom calls. Like, it's so important that we make sure that we're incorporating movement throughout the day. So I think
Yes.
walking is a great way to do that. And then you can include the whole family.
Yes,
And
my husband and I have committed to like about 5 o'clock, I'm shutting everything down, and then he and I go for a walk, and then I come back and finish dinner prep, and but it gives us that time to reconnect as well, which has been really, really a lot of
and I think it's great that you have a cutoff. So
right.
at 5 o'clock, 5:30, I'm
Done.
done for the day. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
that is
that's
a challenge right
very
now. It is. And I
yeah.
like what you said about, like starting with the woman because of the impact she has on her family and people who are around her. Because I do, I think we make so many choices about our family schedule, about our family's meals, so if you focus on women like you and I are, that then has a ripple effect, so I wouldn't say my family is 100% does everything I do and eats everything I eat, but they
Right.
certainly have come a long way in the past 8 years than where they were right before. And that's only bettering them, as well. So, and I love what you said about not having to do a full workout, and I know that kind of ties into some of the things that you're offering. So tell us a little bit more about, you've got this new membership and kind of how specifically you can help women with some of these areas and what that looks like if they want to learn more and get in touch with you.
Yeah. So I wanted to create a platform for women so that they don't have to think about it so much. Where am I going to go work out? What am I going to eat? What should I be eating? So I created a platform called the Virtual Gym. And so the Virtual Gym houses all things health and wellness. So of course we have fitness classes. So we do things like high intensity interval training, but we do low impact training as well, kickboxing, yoga, Zumba. So whatever you're into, we have a fitness class for you, right? But I also wanted to be able to offer education. And so this is where the nutrition education, we actually have a seminar coming up next week, a nutritional seminar. We do wellness education. We're going to be talking about how trauma affects our decision making when what it brings that block when it comes to health and wellness. And like you said, whether self-care is selfish or not. A lot of times it's a block that has to do with some type of trauma. So we're going to be talking about those things as well. So it's a place where, like I said, we just house all things health and wellness. It's a great program. I would love for any of you guys to be a part of that. And I will definitely put the information in the comments so you guys can learn more about it.
Thank you. And I know you've shared with me, you're really creating a community, right?
Yeah,
These people are getting to know each other. And if someone I remember you telling me a story, somebody didn't show up for a workout, they're like, hey, where's so-and-so? It's not just people just going and getting a workout or getting some information about nutrition. We're doing life together, even though it's virtual, which is a beautiful thing that you're bringing people together.
That's such an important part of the whole process. Like you say, people are like, where is she? She didn't show up for class today. But also to come into a group and someone says, well, how was your day? How are you?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times women, we don't get that, because we're the one running the show. So people get to check in on us. And so with community, we absolutely make sure that happens.
I love that because that's that wholeness, right? It's about we put in our mind, we put on our skin, we put in our body, and how we move our body and how we manage stress. It's all impactful, and so I love the fact that you're touching on so many. So yes, please put the link to that down in the comments, because you guys, this woman just has an amazing heart to serve, and what she's offering with her program is pretty fantastic. So I'm excited, to be able to share that with my audience. And this month I am offering my brand new Live Well, Age Well guide. I mean, how many of us, it doesn't matter what stage we're in, right? That we're seeing aging coming on, we're feeling, some of those changes. And, it's going to happen, but we can do it well. And we can then, look and feel our best so that ultimately we can give our best. I really think that's what all of this comes down to, right? We have the health and the wellness to be able to give in the way that we want to and that we feel like God has called us to do. So I will put a link down below as well if you would like to grab the Live Well, Age Well guide. And it's got three keys to living and aging well, things that we can start doing right away. So whether you are in your 20s or you're in your 80s, it doesn't matter. Everything we do makes a difference, right?
Right.
Well, thank you so much. You have given us some great information. I love your hearts. Thank you so much for the resources. I'm excited to have people go check those out. And then to share this video, with people that you know. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking about your aunt and your sister and your best friend and your coworker and your neighbor, and you're like, hey, this is something we need to start doing. We need to prioritize our wellness. Like, please share this with them. I'll be posting this on YouTube as well, so that it's very easy for people to find there. But this is about, how can we help more women live well so we can make a bigger impact. So thank you so much, Corine, for joining us. I really appreciate you. And thanks everyone for joining us today too. And we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay. Bye, guys.